This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended to cause or induce breach of an existing agency agreement.
This is the Victoria Real Estate Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss everything Victoria Real Estate. I'm Adrian Maclaren, and I'm a realtor on the CNS team at Remax Camosun, Oak Bay in Victoria. Today's episode, we are joined by Stephane Lecouteur, Chief Dream Officer. You want to elaborate on that?
I know, cute title, right? I was like, cute title, but what do you do?
Yeah. No, I love it. Thank you for joining us today, Stephane.
Cheers.
So, Stephane, usually how I like to start my podcast is, obviously we're going to get into your work and what you do and all of that stuff. But for the listeners, meeting you for the first time, can you give us a little background on where you came from, who you are, the personal side?
I'm old, right? So this might take a while, but I'll give you the Coles notes.
Please.
So basically my sales, advertising, marketing background came from almost 20 years of working with Rogers Media here in town, Victoria, BC.
Yeah.
With Ocean 98.5 and Jack FM.
Yeah.
So if my voice,
you got the voice down.
If I get a little too radio, just let me know though.
Okay, will do.
But yeah, that's where I got a lot of, my coaching, mentorship. I'm happy and blessed that I had that experience because I've been able to use those transferable skills to kind of move on. After I left Rogers, got my buyout, I did a media consulting business for a couple of years, my own thing, Crush Consulting, before obviously COVID, and then started doing some online stuff with a company called Sticky Media. And then I went on to work with the guys over at Pacific FC.
Yeah.
Which is probably a crucial part of this entire story. I was doing accounts and partnerships, and I was one of their account executives.
Now, are you still working with them? Or
No. And that's kind of leads us to Mexico Land Ventures. Yeah.
Okay.
So part of what I was doing with partnerships, with corporate partnerships for PFC is basically I was doing new business development. So the whole idea is to bring people in, get them to fall in love with the team, the experience, teach them about our WAVE program, although not our WAVE program, obviously, but junior development, get them excited about the club. And I found out about a gentleman who actually wanted to buy, or for lack of a word, buy a suite or be one of our suite holders.
Okay.
And part of my job is I had no idea who this person was, all the rest of it. So I started to hunt this guy down.
Yeah.
And I found him, and he ended up being a gentleman by the name of Jacob Peniagua. And I took him around the club. He was interested in the suite. We had developed a friendship over time. And what I didn't realize is that looking back on it now, it was like a 6-month on-the-job training. Like I was being interviewed at the time because when he found out I was leaving, he offered me a job.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So for the listeners who might not remember, Jacob was actually on the podcast as well.
Absolutely.
And that's how I got connected with you. But yeah, he's the owner of Rocks and does great work in Victoria as well.
Yeah.
So he poached you. Well, I guess not poached, but, respectively waited until you were available.
Yeah. Well, it was funny at the time because he had a construction company, ROGCS, and when he asked me to go for a coffee when he found out I was leaving, I was like, I'm not really into construction, so I don't know what this is going to be about.
Right.
And so he kind of rolled out Mexico Land Ventures, had a website developed, social media, all the rest of it. And I was like, okay, it's all starting to make sense now. I found out that he had a law firm in Guadalajara, had been doing that with huge success since 1996 and has a group of companies. He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And so when he presented it to me, it was kind of one of those things where he already kind of found out that I love Mexico. I love the culture. I got to know him, his family, his foundation, and he's incredibly humble.
Yeah, big time.
He's been very successful, and it's an opportunity for me to learn a lot and learn from him. So I'm incredibly blessed, and he's been a great coach and mentor to me. So
very cool. So what was this pitch? Like, what is your role at Mexico Land
Well,
Ventures?
originally the brand was created. I mean, he has a lot of clients down south that come to him for all sorts of things. And obviously this category, I think over time with him building relationships, is people want help with buying land or real estate.
Right.
So
well, it's intimidating trying to purchase real estate in Canada. I can't imagine trying to do it not in our own country.
Adrian, it's crazy. I talk to industry professionals that know what they're doing and they buy down there, and they said it's still the wild, wild west. And he goes, even somebody that knows real estate, you just got to make sure you have a trusted legal party. You got somebody you can trust down there that can walk you through those steps. And that's why this was created, Mexico Land Ventures. I mean, obviously with the intent of people investing in land, like raw land, and actually developing and building their dream home.
Yeah.
However, the law firm does a lot of different services. So the whole idea is they would contact me and I develop packages or legal packages to help them with whatever it is that they need help with. And at the end of the day, to build trust with our new clients, it's, Mexico Land Ventures is a brand. But the most important thing is we want them to trust us and fix their problems. That's why they're going to use us. And so I want to let people know out there that are looking for a trusted partner. I'm willing to do anything that they need in Mexico. And we're heavily connected down there. So it's just a matter of finding out what the problem is and then building a game plan and executing it.
Okay. So kind of moving on, kind of want to, I guess, touch on why are so many Canadians exploring Mexico right now? Like, are you guys, has this always been a thing, I guess? So, we're so, I guess, connected. It's kind of like one of our more tropical areas that's close to Canada, but...
I mean, there's the obvious stuff. Obviously, everybody's vacations there. It's always been top 3 destinations for travel for Canadians. But I think it's more so, and I don't want to get too political because there's enough of that out there right now. But there's been a ton of discussion around, open borders, immigration, and stuff that's happening with government overreach and drug problems and just everything that people are looking for. I think just options. Right? And at the end of the day, maybe they're not ready to buy right now or invest, but they're definitely looking at opportunities elsewhere. And it could be Mexico. So I'm here for them.
What type of buyers are you guys typically seeing? Are you seeing like retirees, investors, remote workers, people for like lifestyle moves, a bit of mixture of everything?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously I'm doing a ton of networking right now. So a lot of these investors that are high net worth individuals, they typically don't go to these events. So what I'm trying to do through being part of like 6 different chambers right now is the 6 degrees of separation. So you tell 2 friends, they tell 2 friends. Eventually it gets to people, some of these high net worth individuals. However, in the meantime, working with expats or people that are actually invested in the U.S. right now that are looking to get out because of the current political situation in the U.S.
Looking for a new vacation home.
Or maybe they're in Palm Springs. They like the weather there, but they don't like what's happening. So maybe they want to move to Baja California. Right. So they're looking at those options right now. And then there's just the empty nesters. They've been really fiscally responsible, let's say, with their money, and the kids are out of the house and they've downsized to a condo. Maybe now they've got a bunch of money. Exactly. Maybe they're looking to buy some land. Maybe they want to buy a condo, gated community, whatever that is for them. I can help them.
What do you think is some of the biggest misconceptions Canadians might have about buying or owning property in Mexico?
Is it safe? That's one of the really big ones.
Of course,
words like cartel go out there, all the rest of it. However, I would be, and this is the crazy part of it, I'd be more worried about the cartel in Canada.
I remember you mentioned
there's a serious drug issue in Canada, along with, other things. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm kind of one of those people. If you want to look for problems or if you want to get in trouble, you can do that almost anywhere. It's not specific to Mexico. I think a lot of people watch or read mainstream news, and news is created for a reason, to create, viewers, listenership, and sometimes it's out of like, they create crisis where there is none. So I would just encourage people, if they've been vacationing there for years, there's no issue.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess from your own experience, and I guess realistically, you're saying that, safety is not really a concern. Is there areas that you are more concerned, or do you guys specialize in Listen, kind of the
people,
Canadian?
For me, if I'm working with a client that's really concerned about it,
Yeah.
they can buy a condo in a gated community, double gated community for that matter.
Yeah.
So whatever it is for them, and then you've got some people that want to be totally off grid,
Right.
and are totally comfortable with it. And you know what? They want the authentic Mexican experience. They want to be immersed in the culture.
Yeah.
And so whatever that is for them, whatever that dream is for them, Mexico has all that stuff.
Yeah. There's lots of different options.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I gotcha. One of the biggest concerns, like I think I've heard, other than safety, is can foreigners, legally own property in Mexico? How does that work? Do you want to touch on that subject?
So there's some nuances, definitely, but
Yeah.
I think the first one is if you're going to be buying within 50 kilometers of beach, like actual ocean,
Yep.
or within 100 kilometers of the U.S.-Mexico border, that is it's restricted land. You can't own. You do it through what they call a fideicomiso. It's a bank trust.
Oh.
So you can still do whatever you want with that piece of property, or if you buy a piece of land, you can build on it. You can rent it out. You can pass it on to your children. You pass it on. You can do whatever you want to.
Right.
It's just through a bank trust.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like you can own it. You just need to jump through a hoop.
But the thing is, if you buy inland,
Yeah.
it's totally different. You can have, with a bank trust, you're going to have a copy of that land and title. But if you buy inland, like let's say you go to someplace like San Miguel,
Yep.
you can totally own there.
Okay.
It's just a different process. So you can have land and title there. But the thing is, for most people, most Canadians, their idea of retiring or investing there, they want to be near the beach.
Yeah. I'm actually going to a wedding in San Miguel in September.
Nice.
Yeah. So
well, you'll have to give me a rundown. I haven't been yet.
You haven't been to San Miguel? Okay.
I've had an invite.
All right.
So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Interesting. So can you just elaborate a little bit more on the potential negatives or downfalls of buying in these restricted zones? Like, obviously that's where people want to buy and you need to do it through this trust. What is like it? I'm not fully understanding that. Do you want to just elaborate a little bit further on, I guess?
Well, there's no real I get into this topic a lot.
Yeah.
When you own a home here in Canada,
Yep.
you technically do not own it until you pay it off.
Oh,
the
no,
bank,
even not even then, actually. Technically, the Crown owns all land in Canada.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that people are worried about that and that it's done through a bank trust. It's actually technically, if something happens with that institution down there, it's actually protected.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about something happening with that bank.
Right.
So you're actually pretty protected in Mexico.
Okay.
Even though it's a bank trust.
Right. But I guess it's like what I'm trying to understand is you can buy inland, you can own it outright, but if you own it through a bank trust, is there any sort of like it seems like there's no difference. It seems like just a piece of paper or a process you need to go through, and there's no difference in ownership. You can still sell, you can still buy. There's no other restrictions, or
there's literally. That's exactly what it is.
Interesting. It seems like there should be more,
And the process is when you buy, that bank trust is good for 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and
it's
then,
just ongoing.
Right. And then after the 50 years, what happens then?
Then it's just renewed.
Seems like too good to be true. Okay, perfect. Now, we already kind of talked about obviously owning these coastlines and the restrictions, but how it's easily managed if you know the right people. What mistakes are you finding that foreign buyers are most commonly making when navigating this process potentially alone without help from, for example, you guys?
Well, I think probably one obvious one is a lot of people are under the impression, hey, I'm going to get a lawyer, I'm going to go down there, I've got an agent, so that's all I need.
Yeah.
The really important part of this is actually getting a notary.
Okay.
They're typically, like my understanding of it, they're almost like government officials.
Yep.
So they're the ones that are doing all the registries, they're doing land title, they're looking into all the zoning, they're looking red flags. They're the ones that are in the trenches doing all the background work. Yeah. So when you're doing due diligence, they're very much a big part of that. It's very important.
Gotcha. And then I guess one other thing that has been brought up or brought to my attention through real estate in Mexico is in Canada, I think we have a pretty ironclad form of title ownership and all that. But in Mexico, is there the reason you might want to have a notary or somebody who is doing this due diligence is because there is a bit more fraud in terms of title?
There's a huge amount of fraud.
Yeah.
And it's funny, a lot of people think, oh, well, with so many people traveling there, it must be getting better. It's actually getting worse.
Right.
There's a lot of extreme rich and extreme poor in Mexico. So with that comes people for opportunities just want to make money. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So you have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Mexico Land Ventures was created for this single purpose, is that it's to protect Canadians. So the last thing you want to do is lose literally hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars because you didn't do your due diligence.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's exactly kind of what I wanted to highlight, I guess. Yeah. Perfect. So a really important distinction, you're not acting as a real estate agent for these deals. How would you, I mean, we already kind of talked about your role, but where in the buying process should someone ideally involve you or your team?
Great question.
Yeah.
They should probably have a pretty good idea. They should almost be 90% there. They should have a good idea of what they're going to invest, so what their budget is. They should have a good idea of where they want to be specifically. We aren't real estate agents, so the whole idea is I don't do that process for you. So you gotta be there yourself.
Yeah.
So at that time, if they're not at that point in that buying process, I mean, I can recommend things.
Yeah.
I'm already developing relationships with other agents and other brokers in Mexico.
Yep.
Obviously, the major travel corridors, PV, Cancun, Cabo, those are the major ones. And then sort of there's a lot of these expat communities that are now being built outside of these areas, up to 2-3 hours out of these major city centers, including Mexico City as well. So yeah, it's one of those things where I want to be a resource for people. So I want to be your guy, like the go-to guy, like I got a guy. I want to be that guy. So I'm trying to make as many connections as possible.
Right.
But again, I want to be very clear with people. I'm not a real estate agent, but I do have those connections.
Yeah.
And if I can talk with people and get them connected, it makes it a lot easier through this process. And we already know the agent. So it just makes it a lot easier from our end.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, I feel like I would want to involve you even sooner than even if, like, for example, I haven't really decided, maybe we come to Mexico Land Ventures and we're like, hey, what would be a better blank or blank, and you guys can offer a little bit more advice and then you also can connect, versus if you maybe wait too long, like, you're not going to get that advice, right? So
it's what you said is exactly right. You would engage me and the law firm before even going down. Right. So any recommendations, like I'm literally on speed dial with you. Yeah. And so that's when the process starts. Yeah. So if you want my connections and you want me to help through the entire process and help you, then that at that time, right at the very beginning, is when contractually we start working together.
Gotcha. Okay. Now you said you're building trust with these real estate agents down in Mexico. How do you vet these agents or who you're willing to recommend? Is there a process you guys go through, or?
Well, they're already established down there, so it's not, as long as it's just a recommendation, I don't want to be liable for any of that stuff. Yep. They're currently working down there, but the great thing about being able to work with a law firm that's been around for so long is that if I'm worried about a developer or I'm worried about a specific agent, chances are I can probably make a phone call and
find out.
Vet that process.
Right. Gotcha. So kind of getting into, I guess, protection and due diligence. So someone's considering a purchase. What would be the first due diligence steps that they're taking along this process with you?
Well, I mean, obviously with, all the fraud and everything that's involved, it's all that boring background work and making sure that the person who's actually selling that property is the person who's selling the property. Right. So that's probably a big one.
That's
zoning is incredibly important. I've heard some horror stories about two schemes specifically.
Okay.
One about selling commercial.
Yeah.
And so somebody would try to build a home closer or around in a commercial area, not properly zoned. Right. And literally the government can come along and just take it.
Right.
And the other issue is if a contract isn't specifically written the way it should be, and you're going down there and buying land off somebody, there's people that are creating schemes and just selling that land over and over again, and you don't even own it.
Right. Okay. You're scaring me a little bit.
Yeah. I told you it's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we kind of already talked about red flags. How often are you finding that you're seeing buyers coming to you after problems are already started?
Well, until I put ink to paper on this, when I'm dealing with a potential client right now who is having issues in a certain area outside of Cancun. And I don't want to get into it too much.
Yeah, you don't have to say any names.
Having issues with a realtor and having issues with property management.
Okay.
So I'm in a situation where I can sit down with a client and go, listen, if you're having serious concerns with your property management company, and if you think they're skimming or taking money or somehow overcharging you, we can fully do an audit.
Yeah.
And the great part of it is if we do figure out that they've been negligent, we can come in, we can talk about having that contract canceled, and we can actually step in and do their property management for them.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. And then, I mean, also probably helps that you guys have, big law firms in Mexico as well, in case any sort of legal stuff pops up.
Exactly.
Okay. So it kind of sounds like you guys are also expanding your offering beyond purchase support. You're offering, what other things are you guys offering?
Absolutely. I mean, like I told you, the law firm's been around for a long time. So my thing is just about figuring out what I need to do for clients and to fix those problems. And then eventually I'm hoping that they'll just take us on and be on speed dial with us for all their legal services. So one of the other ones that I was talking to after a networking function, I was talking to a lady who lost her husband, unfortunately. And she was looking to wrap some things up. And one of them was she still had a lot of timeshare. And she wasn't planning on taking advantage of it herself. Right. And she was trying to, because of the estate and all the rest of it, she was looking to hopefully cancel that contract. So we created a legal package around canceling timeshare contracts. So we can offer that as well. And the whole idea is we promise clients that give us your documents, let us look at them, we'll evaluate it, and we'll do a full audit on it. And if we think we can get it canceled, then we'll offer a game plan and a blueprint for kind of what we're going to do moving forward. And then it's up to them whether they want to move forward on it.
Gotcha. So legal services, but then also you said property management services as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what don't you guys do down there?
I don't want to really get into that because I'm in, let's put it this way. To be the guy in Mexico, I want to make sure that I'm a resource as much as possible. So to be honest, I'm going to say yes and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then you guys have a lot of resources and connections down there to kind of, I guess, solve lots of different problems.
Absolutely.
Right? So, okay. Is there any other legal pitfalls do Canadians fall into in Mexico that they don't expect that we haven't already kind of covered? Like we talked about title, I guess like fraud, and then a couple other things. But
yeah, I'm just thinking it's obviously I told you about, you just have to be very careful about where you're buying.
Yep.
The other one we didn't touch on is it's something called ejido. And it's like communal land. So it's a little bit different. For foreigners, it's really risky to try to purchase. It's essentially owned by the community and locals are allowed to use that land for farmland.
Okay.
And without having to own it. So it's owned by the community. And but it's pretty hard for foreigners to be able to buy on that land. So again, it's possible. It's not impossible. Yeah. But it's pretty risky.
Gotcha. So you want to just make sure you're getting the advice in terms of,
and it's all part of the due diligence process.
Yeah. Gotcha. Now, talking about kind of big picture with Canadians moving, all this kind of stuff, do you think Mexico is becoming a bit more mainstream for Canadian buyers, or do you still think there's enough of this misunderstanding with buying in Mexico that it hasn't made that full shift into becoming this mainstream?
No, there's definitely an increase. Looking at some numbers from 2024 to 2025, typically those numbers come in later, so I wouldn't have the ones for 2026 yet. But there was a 14% increase in investment from 24 to 25. So it's definitely happening. There's a movement there.
Interesting.
And I think it's because of these smaller expat communities.
Yeah.
People are looking for opportunities. It's starting to get really expensive, especially in some of these bigger areas like Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, Cancun. So I think there's a movement to if you can be 2 to 3 hours outside of Guadalajara, Mexico City, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, all these areas, it's expanding. And there's a really good opportunity right now and over the next few years for people to buy land and eventually have like buy one that has some serious upside potential where there's maybe no services right now.
Okay.
So you've got like your basic water, electricity, that type of thing, but no real services. I think there's a real opportunity where if you bought now and then the next 3 to 5 years, you could make some serious money.
And what do you mean by services? Is this more so
where there's just not a lot
like
there.
grocery
stores, retail, all the
Gotcha.
rest of it that you're used to.
Yeah. And what areas?
Again, for some people, that's not an issue.
Yeah.
And so they can get by on very little. So some people like being off grid a little bit.
Yeah.
However, some of these smaller communities, maybe it's a little bit more of a drive. So maybe when you lived, for example, somebody living in Victoria, we've got everything within, 5 to 10 minutes in any direction. Maybe it's a half an hour drive. Mm-hmm. So if you're okay with that, I think there's a potential opportunity for people to get serious return on investment.
Yeah.
And then you've got options to possibly do more investing or even sell and move into maybe an area that's a little bit more, has more services or more populated.
Right.
So
now this area, like, can you highlight anywhere that you think that this investment potential is there?
Well, for example, I was just talking to a friend of mine who moved to San Miguel, for example, and it's wouldn't be somebody's first choice.
Yeah.
But for people that are looking to get out of, people who have lived there for a long time and get out of those major tourist areas, they kind of make fun of people that go to resorts.
Yeah.
Because that's not the true Mexico experience.
No.
So they're looking for other areas where you can be with people, be with Mexicans, immerse yourself in that culture, learn the language, all the rest of it. And San Miguel, de Allende is one of those areas.
Right.
And so, like I said, it might not be for everybody. Mm-hmm. There's little spots kind of jumping up. Los Barriles, if you really like Baja California, everybody's pretty much familiar with Todos Santos and San Jose del Cabo. Mm-hmm. Cabo, obviously, it's like the Hollywood of Baja California now. But Los Barriles is kind of blowing up. Again, it's getting to the point over the next few years, it might be priced out for a lot of people because it's really starting to get up there. But then, if you really want to be, if you want to be part of the culture, maybe La Paz and being, a major city center like that, maybe that's, what you want to do. And it's not really up to me to decide for them. But it has a lot to offer and serious upside potential.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've only been to Mexico twice before, and both times have been in resorts. And it's honestly not the type of vacation that I enjoy. I'm definitely the type of person when I travel to, immerse myself in the culture. And so I've had this kind of like, when people ask me like, oh, do you want to go to Mexico? We're going to this all-inclusive. I'm always like, I don't want to lounge in a chair and eat myself, to sleep. And, I would rather do more of this other type of traveling. So it's been on my bucket list to go to Mexico, but to do it properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So for someone that maybe is listening to this and is thinking, oh, like it's exciting them, they're thinking about this investment potential, what would be like a first step for them who maybe they've only done this similar to me, they've done a couple of different trips? Like, would you recommend that they go travel to you, or recommend reaching out to you and getting some advice on where to go to see where they would like?
I'd be surprised if they wouldn't have a pretty good idea. I mean, already? For example, I have a connection to Cabo because I went there as a kid.
You're right.
So if I was looking to invest, chances are I'd probably want to be close to there. And it has a bit of that nostalgic factor.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a bit of a reach to ask people to go somewhere where they've never been. So it's probably going to, involve some sort of travel. Mm-hmm. Or maybe the connection is an expat community of people that they already know.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just like, what? They're not going sight unseen, but they trust their friendship group, and maybe they're getting ready to make that move. And basically that next question is, how much money do I need? And, how do I make that move? And how do I fund it?
Yeah.
Because in some cases you really do have to have cash. In some cases, maybe you've got enough equity in your home that you can pull some equity of it and fund it that way.
Yeah.
But I don't encourage anybody to go down there. You're not going to be, You're not going to get a mortgage broker in Mexico unless they're going to charge you, 15 to 20%.
Oh, okay.
It's just, they're going to charge you through the nose. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Unless you're really lucky and you can get some sort of private investor.
So that's actually, I didn't know that. So when buying in Mexico as a Canadian, you're kind of needing to go the cash route.
Either go the cash route, or like I said, if you can find a lender. In a lot of cases, it's just if you can pull equity out of an existing home is probably going to be the way to go.
Your own line of
or
credit,
like you said, if you downsize and now you've got cash to play with. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I have a couple kind of rapid fire personality, questions here. Sure. What is one myth about Mexico that you'd like to erase forever?
Wow. I'd say I think it's the safety thing.
Yeah. That's kind of what I would think as well.
You hear it a lot, and it's just because it's in the mainstream news all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the major one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like, you can go pretty much anywhere in the world and you can find trouble if you go looking for it. But, if you're smart and, you pick the right areas and you don't, then you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
What's one thing about living or spending time there that surprises Canadians most?
I think like just how amazing the people are in the culture.
Yeah.
Like when they really go off the beaten path a little bit, the people are they're so amazing. They have this foundation, it's quite religious, right? They grew up with deep faith. So I think it's for me, what does it is the people. There's a reason why they call you amigo, like friend all the time. It's literally you're
a friend.
Like everybody's a brother and sister. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. I found the same thing when I'm down there for sure. Best golf destination that in Mexico.
Oh, that's a good one. I ended up staying.
This is my personal.
No,
question.
This is great. I went there a few years back through a friend, and we got an invitation to go hang out at a place called Copala Cuevera.
Okay.
And it's a Jack Nicklaus course.
Ooh.
But it's an actual residence, like a massive development.
Right.
In Cabo.
Okay.
And it was absolutely knocked my socks off. It's kind of one of these courses where you start off the first 4 holes and it's nice wide fairways, immaculate shape, and then it goes into the hills.
Yeah.
And it's literally carved out of the side of this hill.
Right.
On the Pacific side. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, probably one of the best courses I've played.
I don't know if you can answer this, but in this resort community that's attached to this golf course, how much are we talking here?
Like to purchase or for the round of golf?
No, to purchase like a property in there. You can give me a rough if you have an idea.
Oh, I'm probably thinking they've got a lot of different types of investment opportunities there.
Yeah.
Because when I went quite a few years ago, I think they basically had townhomes, homes, and these smaller condo units were roughly around 1,200 square feet.
Okay.
At the time, I think you could get in there for just under 400,000 USD.
Nice.
But I don't think it's nowhere close to that now.
Yeah, I think
you'd be pretty hard pressed to find anything under 500 USD, especially in a double gated community. It's got amazing services.
Amenities,
I remember one place, Sky Bar, and it's literally like infinity pool. Swim up bar, the whole 9 yards, and it's pretty spectacular. Look over the ocean, and it's pretty amazing.
Man, I need to go on vacation.
Yeah,
you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. How are you feeling after that Super Bowl win?
Go Hawks! Talk about like a full circle moment.
Yeah,
especially since we lost against the Patriots on a pass that should have been a run. Years ago.
Yeah,
to
poetic.
like come around.
Yeah.
And we gave them a pretty good beat down.
Definitely.
And it just goes to show like. A team like that, it's all about coaching and chemistry.
Yeah.
And
that's the
they
thing.
just made it happen.
Beginning of the season, no one would have predicted this, right? Like, and then they just clicked.
They took a few bad losses in the last few minutes, bad time management on the clock and stuff like that. And I think it ultimately just comes down to coaching and. But the guys stepped up, and now that I find it hilarious that they're calling their back end now the dark side. This is like the Legion of Boom. So, it's pretty amazing. Like as a diehard Seahawks fan, just to see the evolution. Feels like they went through a bit of a rebuild, and there's some weird stuff that happened with kind of like the dismantling of the team quite a few years ago. So it's nice to see them come back and
really bounce back.
They're building a legacy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, the one thing I really like about the team is, they don't really have a star. You know, like someone that they're like, you know, for example, Tom Brady, everyone's saying the reason the Patriots are winning all these it's because of this one guy.
Yeah.
Like they're really like a team unit. Everyone's contributing. Everyone's really like, you know, popping in there, and it's showing like how powerful like a team being a team sport.
Yeah. No, it's funny that you said Tom Brady, because I obviously hang out with other like diehard Seahawks fans. They're saying, it's kind of nice that they're not like riding Tom Brady's jockstrap.
Exactly. Another fun question. One purchase under $1,500 that has improved your life recently.
So recently.
Yeah. Or like,
how
you know,
close is that?
a year and a half.
I'd
2
say
years.
I would tell anybody, if things aren't going your way, put the money into yourself, into self-development.
Okay.
Probably one of the best things I could have done is during COVID, I got some coaching.
Yeah.
And it was kind of one of those things. It was a full mind, body, spirit thing where I took a 120-day challenge and like, you know, just literally broke myself down, built myself up.
Yeah.
And it absolutely changed my life.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like one of the best answers I think I've gotten for that question.
Yeah.
Some people say Roomba.
No, self-development, man. I'm telling you, when you're, with everything going on right now, I think a lot of people want to listen to all the noise and all the garbage. And when you understand who you truly are, and you understand that you have so much to give to yourself, to the community, to your family, to your friends, everything, life changes for you, and you stop. You understand that life comes out of you, not to you. Yeah. And that's a really important lesson to learn.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. A couple closing questions for listeners considering, you know, potentially buying in Mexico. Where can they connect with you and potentially learn more?
Well, obviously the website, mexicolandventures.com. Yeah. They can reach me on my email at sl@mexicolandventures.com. Yeah. And obviously my phone number, 250-217-3636.
Perfect. And I'll pop that all in the show notes for anyone that is not jotting it down quick enough. Yeah. And final advice for Canadians thinking about buying property outside the country.
I'll do you one better.
Okay.
Just for today, there? I decided, I don't know if you know, I'm a big fan of top 10 lists.
Oh, okay.
And I figured we'd do a top 10 reasons why to use Mexico Land Ventures.
Perfect.
And it's really, it's a how-to guide. Yeah. So number 10, I'll keep this one short.
Yeah.
Because Google's not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Watching 3 YouTube videos and joining a Facebook group does not make you an expert in Mexico real estate. This isn't DIY IKEA furniture. This is your life savings. So I thought that's pretty relevant.
Big time. Yeah.
Number 9, because my buddy did it, it's not a strategy. Your friend's cousin's neighbor bought land in Tulum and made a killing. Cool story. But did he check the zoning, AIDO risk, title history? You know where I'm going with that? Yeah. So number 8, because Mexico's amazing and complicated. I love Mexico. I really do. But it's still a relationship-driven system with different rules. So different processes, different risks. And you need someone who speaks both languages legally and culturally, which is a really good point when you're getting a lawyer. They're speaking on your behalf. So it's pretty important that they understand
what you're saying,
the language on both ends of the spectrum. So number 7, because retirement should feel like a dream, not like a court date.
Yeah.
So if you're moving to Mexico to relax, golf, sip margaritas, enjoy sunsets, the last thing you want to do is a property dispute waiting for you. So and honestly, it happens.
100% sounds like it.
And if people are living down there and haven't gone through it, they
know somebody that does.
They're lucky.
Yeah.
They're lucky if they haven't.
Yeah.
Number 6, because building a dream home shouldn't turn into a nightmare.
Yep.
And that's no joke. Permits, land use, utilities, trust, contracts, developers, goes on and on and on and on. There's a lot of moving parts. So we help make sure your dream doesn't come with a hidden surprise. We don't want a Kinder surprise on this one. So number 5, because not all titles are created equal. So fideicomiso, we talked about that, AIDOs, corporations. If these words make your eyes glaze over, that's exactly why we exist.
I don't want to have to worry about any of that. I just want to pass it over to you guys. You handle it for me.
Exactly. Yeah. And number 4, because it's still the Wild Wild West in some areas. And I'm pretty sure I used that word at least 3 or 4 times talking right now. There's incredible opportunities in Mexico, but there's a lot of landmines. So we help you navigate tell the difference.
Yeah.
Number 3, because you don't know what you don't know. And in Mexico real estate, what you don't know can cost you 6 figures, and that is no joke.
Yeah.
Number 2, because we protect Canadians from costly mistakes. At Mexico Land Ventures, we act as your legal and strategic partner, not your salesperson. We're not on commission. That's not how it works. That's the other thing. So relationships that we need to refer, agents, that sort of stuff is outside of our business.
Yeah.
We're doing it out of the goodness of our own hearts, and we want to supply, obviously, give them, set them up for success.
Yeah.
And the number 1, because peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah.
And so when you're investing, retiring, or building in another country, confidence matters. We make sure you move forward with clarity, protection, and zero guesswork.
Awesome. Well, Stephane. Great. I actually have the ba-dum-cha. Let me see if I can get it right here. Bang. Nailed it. Awesome. Well, big thanks to Stephane for the amazing conversation. Anything else you wanna pop before I kind of sign off here?
No, like I said, it's been an absolute blessing. And if I would have told you I'd been doing this a year ago, I would have told you you were out of your mind. And I'm so happy and blessed that I'm able to help Canadians and doing this. And obviously the goal for me is in the next few years, going back and forth from Mexico and having a little piece of heaven with my wife and my kid.
The next time we do this podcast, it'll be virtual over Zoom.
Listen, that would be amazing. That's the dream.
Awesome. All right. Well, Stephane, thank you so much. Make sure to follow us at Victoria Real Estate Podcast for more behind the scenes new listings and local real estate tips. Thank you for listening to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast, produced by the CNS team. We've had some fantastic reviews and we love them. So please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you're listening. We also really appreciate you guys sharing the podcast with friends and family. You can always reach out to me at Adrian at 250-464-4122 or on Instagram at Adrian Real Estate Victoria. Thank you.